Hi folks, I want to check in with you as you start Unit 1. So, Unit 1, if you scroll down here, it looks like there's a lot to do, right? I've got a whole long list of things. But I want you to, I want to recommend that you just get started, and I want to show you how you can divide this stuff up, how you can keep on track and not feel overwhelmed. So, first thing I'm asking you to do, or the first few things I'm asking you to do, really should only take you an hour or so, and you can get started on those right away, and then you can take a break, and do more work another day. So, this first one here, download and, or print the introduction worksheet. If you have access to a computer, that should be fairly quick. I want you to have the worksheet handy while you're reading the introduction chapter. Because it keeps you active, it keeps you engaged in what you're doing. So do this. That should take you, 5-10 minutes here. Excuse me. Reading the chapter will obviously take you longer, but you don't need to read the entire chapter before you're ready to get started in the class. If you do not have access to the textbook yet, I've given you the MindTap link. You might also be using the chapter. You might be using the physical textbook. You might be using the ebook. We have a copy of the book on reserve in the library. If you don't have it yet, you can still print the worksheet, but then zip down here to some of these optional assignments. So the first one obviously requires the textbook, but the second one here has a bunch of links to some things about art history basics, formal analysis, things that are going to be discussed in the first chapter, in the introduction chapter of the textbook, and in the worksheet. And so if you don't have access to the textbook, you can get started on those things anyway. This one here, the optional 1300 and earlier stuff, that may be something you want to look at now if you haven't ever taken an art history or an art class before, but you can also simply mark it and come back to it. The training quests. There are 3 training quests here that can be started right away. This one really assumes that you've done the reading already. If you haven't, you can still get started on any of these. This one, once I have it up, it will be one you can start on right away. You don't have to do anything ahead of time. When you check in, when you first post in the discussion forum, notice you do not have to have the entire reading done. Your first post is due fairly quick, Wednesday, April 3rd, but that post can be based on the first stuff you read. If you haven't had a chance to read, you can write about one of these training quests. If you haven't had a chance to do that, you can write about what you saw at Khan Academy or through the Canopy streaming service. So you've got a lot of options of how to get started. And you should be able to get started in this unit. Once you've finished the previous unit, in this unit you can get started. You can do the first stuff that's due within an hour or 2. Obviously, after that, I want you spending more time on the class, and you can see that there's quests. There's there's the unit quests that are fairly short. There's the another training quest and a written assignment. But break this stuff up. Don't get in here and say, oh my gosh, 7 things, I can't get through that all. Break it up into pieces that you can handle. And one more thing, if you have questions, if you're having trouble, if computers aren't working for you, if you can't access things, if you're confused, make sure you're asking me questions. Send me an email. Thanks.